Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, wild weather has left a town on the east coast isolated. Work is underway to restore access to the Spring Beach community after a temporary bridge washed away. For now, the only way in or out is by foot.
A community split in two. The temporary bridge connecting it washed away.
The rain was quite heavy. It didn't take very long for the bridge to go down.
Struck by heavy falls yesterday, the only other access point to Spring Beach by car destroyed during floods in April. Now roughly 100 people are stranded.
There's quite a few people on the other side of the bridge that a lot of us know, which are stuck over there. But if they make phone calls to the locals on this side, people will help them out.
Access is still available by foot.
They're able to walk across a walkway down, I'm told, near the beachfront, and there was a shuttle service organised by the locals to try and run people back and forwards to their houses.
And holidaymakers haven't been deterred.
We were coming up for the weekend to get away, and we thought we'd come up today, but looks like we'll be walking past.
Construction on the new temporary bridge is well underway, but people on the Spring Beach side of the rivulet are expected to remain stranded until at least tomorrow morning.
We have another temporary bridge that we're bringing to site, which is a bit bigger.
The bridge was put in place while a new one was being built, but that's likely to be delayed because of the flooding.
But it certainly washed a lot of the foundations away.
But it's weekend plans that have the locals worried.
Everybody's telling me you better go up and check on your bridge. I don't think you'll get into bowls tomorrow.
Some parts of the state saw up to 175 mils of rain yesterday, leaving golf courses flooded and paddocks resembling dams. The worst of the wet weather is over for now, but police are reminding everyone to be safe on the roads this weekend.
Take advice from the relevant authorities and look at the weather predictions, make sure that they're prepared, or make sure you are prepared for the weather events that are being predicted.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
A heartbreaking report has revealed the number of Tasmanian lives taken by suicide over a 5-year period. Mental Health Minister Jeremy Rockcliffe has promised the government will act on the findings, and a warning to viewers, you may find the following story distressing.
Greg Ryan is deeply passionate about his Howrah Men's Shed. A few hours here can make a massive difference.
The men's shed provides somewhere where they can come and interact with other members and keep an interest sometimes in life.
Mental health is again in the spotlight. A groundbreaking report from the State Suicide Register has revealed 359 Tasmanians died by suicide between 2012 and 2016.
They each had people who loved them and cared about them. People who now miss them. People who are grieving.
The highest rates of suicide were among those aged 45 to 54. 2/3 had experienced physical illness, while half had undergone chronic or cancer-related pain.
Nearly 4 times as many men as women died by suicide.
Family and interpersonal stress was a common factor. 2/3 of those who died had also accessed mental health treatment a year before. However, the chief psychiatrist says the link with mental illness is complex.
We've always known, and this report establishes, that maybe half of those people who do die by suicide don't have a mental illness.
Social isolation in the year of COVID has added to the pressures. Lifeline Tasmania has answered 1,000 calls since April.
As we go through, what we're finding is that we're getting calls around more generalised anxiety, people who are struggling in terms of a loss of income.
The government will now consider the report, but the minister says his objectives are clear.
We want 0 deaths by suicide, and that must be our aspiration. We must work towards that.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
And if you or someone you know is struggling, Lifeline is there on 13 11 14. The Peak Hospitality body has launched a new online mental health tool for those working in the sector. After a tough year, it's hoped the resource will help support operators and their staff in the wake of coronavirus shutdowns.
As we slowly start to move out of it, we're just hearing more and more stories of staff, operators and their friends that are going through tough periods. And again, if we can save one life or help one person get through the tough situation, that's one person we've been able to help.
The resource is available on the THA website. Unions say they have serious concerns over the state government's review of the public service. It had been postponed due to the pandemic but has recommenced. Unions want it put back on hold.
We are really concerned about what it is they're actually trying to achieve with this review. Do they have a hidden agenda? Do they have ideas of privatising already, critical services?
The review will continue, and then we'll continue consulting as well, and that of course includes with the unions.
The government has ruled out a wage freeze for public servants in this year's budget. Water supply has been cut off to parts of the Royal Hobart Hospital after Legionella bacteria was detected. The issue was discovered during routine testing in D Block. Staff and patients will be unable to use water for around 6 hours while it's being treated, with bottled water and antibacterial wipes being distributed. No other areas of the hospital are affected. And to some developing news now, there's chaos at Coles supermarkets across Australia tonight, with checkouts down after a major glitch. Customers have been turned away from some stores. For more now, we're joined live by reporter Elizabeth O'Neill. Now, Lizzie, it sounds like shoppers are going home empty-handed in Tassie too.
That's right, Kim. We've already seen customers turned away from Coles, including here at Kings Meadows, and at Sandy Bay, staff have been greeting customers with the bad news. There's also signs up on doors apologising for the glitch. In the last hour, Coles has issued a statement confirming it's a nationwide issue and stores have shut because of a technical problem. It says its team is working hard to fix the glitch and has also apologised for the inconvenience. Coles Express and Coles liquor stores are still open, but customers wanting to go to Coles ahead of the weekend will have to rethink their plans, Kim.
We live here and we know it, but now Tasmania has been globally recognised, topping a list of best islands in Australia and the South Pacific. The Apple Isle took out the coveted spot in the Condé Nast Traveller magazine's 2020 Reader's Choice Awards. Tasmania outshone other contenders due to its rugged beauty and world-renowned wilderness, while Mona was also given special mention. South Australia's Kangaroo Island came in second. A new partnership has been formed to help better explore and understand Kanani Mount Wellington. The University of Tasmania has teamed up with the Wellington Park Management Trust to collaborate on new research ventures and real-world learning. It now hopes the mountain will be used as a living laboratory for students studying plant and animals.
Its ecology, its geology, how it gets used, how we can use it and preserve the extraordinary values that are here.
The university's got a lot of expertise, particularly in collecting data, people understanding how populations act, and also they've got a lot of students who are very keen to do projects.
The Trust currently manages the 18,000 hectare reserve, which includes the entire Wellington Range. Tasmania Police will now have an officer stationed full-time at Cradle Mountain after a successful trial. It's hoped the officer will be able to help with search and rescue operations and ensure members of the public are well prepared for their walks.
Cradle Mountain is a breathtaking area to visit and would certainly rank up there as a prime office location. It has just become the new workplace for a lucky police officer.
This iconic and beautiful place wasn't one of the main reasons, I should say, why I decided to take the role.
A successful trial of an officer here has seen the position turn into a permanent one. Parks and Wildlife has welcomed the move and hoped the officer will boost resources in the area.
The relationship that we've had has always been that we've had that interaction in the search and rescue efforts. So I think it's the timely response and the coordination that will actually prove beneficial.
The position is in response to a growing number of people visiting the attraction.
The isolation is one thing. The weather is obviously a big factor up here, and it's obviously a lot of people who are coming. There's people that come up here that are unprepared. So there are some challenges in relation to search and rescue incidents.
I'd love the situation to exist where we had that many people coming to Cradle Mountain that we could warrant an extra police officer, but in the immediate future, no, that's not foreseen.
The officer here has undertaken training specific to the unique challenges that could be faced at Cradle Mountain.
There's a lot of challenges presented by the overland track. The weather can change dramatically in a short time and become quite harsh and unforgiving, and it's be part of our role to make sure people are appropriately equipped.
Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
Despite the cancellation of a popular fun run, fitness freaks are being urged to still take on a running challenge. Point to Pinnacle organisers have put out a global call to climb 1,271 metres, the same height as Mount Wellington.
Challenge actually, we really didn't want people to miss out on the Point to Pinnacle, and we thought, what can we do, and let's go as big as we can. We just want to see as many people in it as we can, and you know, the reach is unreal. We might have people from right across the globe.
Participants can record their runs using a mobile app and can complete the challenge between the 14th and 20th of November. Well, the brakes have been pulled on an annual family favourite in Evandale. The town's village fair and national penny farthing championships have been cancelled. Organisers have cited difficulties creating adequate space for social distancing and securing a high-class field due to border uncertainty. But in brighter news, Junction Arts Festival is going ahead this year. The delayed event will be held in late November at Princess Square in Launceston, where locals will be able to watch live music and theatre performances in smaller COVID-compliant settings.
Junction always focuses on Tasmanian artists. 99% of our artists are from Tasmania, so I mean this is probably easier for us than a lot of other festivals throughout the state.
The all-Tasmanian lineup will be announced next week. This year, people will need to buy a ticket to help with contact tracing. Tasmania continues to show off its shipbuilding skills with a locally made vessel one stop closer to its new home in the Caribbean. Incat has tested the 100-metre long commuter ferry on the Derwent for the first time, preparing to carry up to 1,000 passengers once it sets sail.
All hands on deck, this moment 18 months in the making. The 100-metre long ferry floating out for the first time, slowly emerging from Incat's dry dock at Derwent Park, a crucial step forward on the path to its final destination in Trinidad and Tobago.
This vessel can take trucks and cars, and it'll take, I think it's 800 passengers. And it's basically a commuter ferry between the two islands. It's about a 2-hour trip.
Taking advantage of today's high tides, after a slow journey, the ship was finally out. Experts watching closely from dry land. Work will now continue on the ship throughout this month, fitting radars, testing engines and machinery. But exactly when it will be handed over isn't clear.
It depends on what happens with the crew arriving, etc., for the final sea trials and acceptance. There's a few hiccups in the way, but basically we've got away without too many COVID problems.
Incat now also preparing its business case to construct a new Spirit of Tasmania vessel after the government was forced to scrap plans with a European shipbuilder.
We'll also be offering perhaps an interim ship in the meantime if they decide to wait a few years for the big ship.
Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
Two of the North West Coast's biggest clubs will go head-to-head in tomorrow's North West Football League decider. Burnie is chasing its third flag in a row, while Devonport wants to break a 32-year drought. If there was ever a curtain raiser to build up this week's grand final, it was Devonport's 3-point win over Wynyard in the prelim. But it was defender Brad Simmons who protected Devonport's slim lead with not one but 2 match-saving marks in the dying stages. He's now being linked to
a couple of clutch marks which were pretty good, but just needed to slow the play down.
A win tomorrow would be a fitting capstone for the Pies veteran who is yet to taste success at senior level.
Oh look, it would mean the world. This is my third for the club, so 1 in TSL we lost, and then obviously last year, so yeah, I really hope that we can get up, not just for me but for everyone involved.
Burnie, on the other hand, is going for 3 in a row, and this year the Dockers have former AFL player Mav Weller back home guiding the group.
It's not every day you get someone whose last game was playing for Richmond in the AFL to walk into an NWFL club. that you can rub shoulders with and then at the end of the day be a teammate of.
The Dockers are undefeated this season, but success has come from dogged determination. The club had to rebuild after falling out of the TSL.
3 years back in the comp, we didn't have a competition in early 18. You know, we only had 6 or 8 players on the training track.
Devonport President Jared Ennis was a defender in the Pies' last flag triumph in '88. Maybe he'll finally see another.
You need a bit of luck to win finals, and we're going to have it tomorrow.
And Huonville will face Lindisfarne in the Southern Football League preliminary final this weekend. Lindisfarne revived its season after losing its first 2 games.
We sat down after that round 2 loss and sort of had a bit of a chat and said they could either go 2 ways. We're in a position where we can potentially do a 3-peat and go back to back to back, or just fizzle out and it's nothing. And so we sort of then drew that line in the sand and went the other way.
They've got some really good midfielders that push forward and kick goals and can do it in a split second. Bang 2 or 3 goals on and all of a sudden you're on the back foot.
The winner will play Signet in the grand final. Meanwhile, the TSLW derby will take place in each end of the state. Blows are being traded a day early in the north, with last year's grand final still fresh in the memory for some.
One giant barb thrown across town.
They got their spray tans, so they looked good with their medals, but we know what 2019 was for the Launceston Football Club, and we're prepared to make history repeat itself.
A piercing remark about the Blues' 2019 grand final hiccup that came after a previously unbeaten season. Now, North Launceston is looking to play the role of party crasher.
I think we've got to shut down their midfield. It's no surprise they've got a really strong midfield. So if we can shut that down and we can shut down some of their run, then we're a chance.
They're a younger side. They don't have a lot of height. Their skills probably aren't quite there yet. I think push comes to shove, we'll be able to handle their group quite well.
The Blues shaking off last year's mishap.
I think we know that with the work that we've done over the last couple of weeks that we're confident that we'll be able to get the job done.
Glenorchy and Clarence play off on Saturday afternoon for the second grand final spot, with the Pies confident they're coming good when they need to.
Overall, the year's been great. We've really started to gel at the right time, which I think is important, going up against strong competitors in Clarence.
The defending champion Roos, also experts at timing their run.
We're in the same position as we were last year, third on the ladder, the underdogs, but there is that added pressure because we are the premiers.
Clarence, looking to become the deja vu Roos. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
A heavyweight clash this weekend could decide the Women's Super League. Clarence Zebras visit Warrior Park on Sunday afternoon, and an Olympia win would put it 8 points ahead with 3 games left, all but wrapping up the title.
We're all feeling really confident about the game. We're going to go in and take it like any other game. I know it's important in terms of winning the title, but, all in all, we're pretty confident about it. We're feeling really good.
A Zebras victory would cut the lead to 2 points, and with a game in hand, they'd become firm favourite for the title. There's a new addition to the Hobart Hurricanes WBBL side in the form of all-rounder Hayley Jensen. She'll complement the squad on both sides of the ball when they head up to the WBBL hub. The New Zealand international caught the eye of Hurricanes GM Scott Jensen during the White Ferns' recent tour of Australia and the T20 World Cup. And with the Jack Jumpers becoming Tasmania's newest NBL team, tonight's flashback is to the state's first foray into the big time 40 years ago. In 1980, Launceston Casino City entered the National Basketball League with a team built around a local legend. While Tasmanian basketball today celebrates native ants, back in 1980, we celebrated the state's second casino. With the country club under construction, Tasmania christened its NBL team Launceston Casino City.
You can't make a really good song around Launceston, but you can make a really good song around casino.
And former board member Brian Walker still knows the words.
C-A-S-I-N-O, casino. Casino is the name. And basketball's the game. Come on, everybody, sing along.
The team was built around Longford's Ian Davies, who had just come back from the Moscow Olympics, where he was the tournament's leading goal scorer.
The jump shot or the layup, he doesn't really care. He can shoot from here, shoot from in there, he scores from anywhere.
That embryonic season had mixed success with 9 wins from 22 games. Launceston didn't make the grand final, but hosted it instead.
The great sport of basketball hit the big time this year in Tasmania, with Launceston Casino City performing creditably in its first year in the National Basketball League and Launceston hosting the National Basketball Finals.
A capacity crowd packed Dowling Street Stadium, as it was known, now Elfin Stadium, to see St Kilda play the West Adelaide Bearcats. For the record, St Kilda won 113-88.
Good evening. Well, the intense low tracks southwards today with showers continuing, mostly down the east. Hobart and Launceston 17 degrees, Burnie 18, Devonport 16. 18 was the warmest, also recorded at St Helens. Grove 17 today, Friendly Beaches 16, Bushy Park, Lowhead, Smithton and Flinders Island 15, Strawn 14 and King Island just 12. Now here's the cloud that brought 140 millimetres to Grey before 9 a.m. and also since then 26 millimetres to Razorback and 20 millimetres to Fools Ridge. So plenty of rain in the air still. Now that system is the main player on the weather for the nation as well. Some low-level cloud sits under a ridge of high pressure south of the Bight and a frontal band lies further west. Some thunderstorms were near southeast Queensland. Tomorrow the low to our southeast extends a front over the Tasman Sea. A broad high pressure system will be centred over the northeastern part of South Australia. West to southwest winds at 20 to 30 knots, reaching 35 knots over the central north. Swells at 3 metres in western waters. Gale warning, that's from Stanley to St Helens. A strong wind warning from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point and from Sandy Cape to Stanley. A moderate flood warning is on for the South Esk River. Minor flood warnings for the Jordan, Macquarie, North Esk, Cole and Meander rivers. Into Saturday we go. For Hobart, a shower or two on 18. 14 the top for Maydena, showers easing. An early shower for Oatlands with 15 the maximum. Launceston 20 and partly cloudy. Devonport 17, a shower or two for Lyowini, a high of 11 degrees. Burnie expecting 18 and partly cloudy, a few showers for Strawn 15 and for Marrawar 15 as well. St Helens tomorrow 20 with a possible shower, an early shower for Swansea 19 the high, 19 also for Orford. On Sunday, a possible shower over the west and south, otherwise fine. Rain developing over the west and south during Monday afternoon, but sunny over the east. And on Tuesday, showers for all, contracting to the north during the afternoon, winds turning southwesterly. Further north we go now, and partly cloudy in Perth, sunny for Adelaide, Canberra, Sydney and Brisbane, all fine and getting warm there. A shower developing, though, over Melbourne. Bit of cloud over Hobart, it's 13 degrees, 14 and cloudy in Launceston, 16 and partly cloudy in Devonport. Tomorrow, Kim, there will be weather, and that's a certainty. Not as big as a certainty as the Richmond Tigers tonight. They can't lose, can they? Really?
Oh, you're so confident. Thank you, Merv. Have a great weekend. That is your news for now. Join Louise over the weekend and we'll see you again on Monday. Good night.